Hey everyone, today we're making the classic French onion soup with a slight twist. In this recipe, we've omitted the use of alcohol and instead we've added that special creamy addition which makes it all the more special. First off, we need to prepare the delicious beef broth. This is very easy to make, but it does require an hour's worth of simmering, so start ahead. 500 grams of oxtail goes into a stock pot, and we're going to start off with 5 to 6 cups of water. We can always add more water as the stock simmers. To this, add 1 carrot along with 1 yellow onion, roughly chopped. You can also add 2 cloves of garlic if you like it. To this, we're going to add 2 sprigs of fresh thyme, a 1/4 teaspoon of black peppercorns, and 2 bay leaves. So we're just going to add a little bit more water to cover up those ingredients and then bring this to a boil. Add some salt to taste, and once it has come to a boil, you can reduce the heat and simmer partially covered for about 1 hour. At some point, I did add an additional beef stock cube for enhanced flavor. Next, we're going to slice the onions for the French onion soup. As the name suggests, the onion is indeed the star of this dish. We're using 5 yellow onions here. Start off by cutting the onion in half lengthwise from root to stem. Chop off both ends and then peel the papery skin. Now there are 2 options while slicing the onions. Option 1 is slicing following the grain. Begin to slice using the long stripes on the onion as a guide. While slicing, curl in your fingers of the other hand so that you don't cut your fingertips. The first option helps to yield firm pieces with a milder flavor. The second option is to begin to slice horizontally against the grain, which yields perfect arched pieces. This method helps to yield softer pieces with more intense flavor. So once all the onions are sliced, we can begin the caramelizing of the onions. On a separate burner, place a large, thick-bottomed pot or saucepan and heat 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter along with 1 tablespoon of olive oil on a medium heat. Add the sliced onions and toss well to coat uniformly. Cook the onions, stirring frequently until they have softened and turned lightly golden in color. This takes about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on the simmering stock on the other burner, adding water as required and also removing the soup scum from the surface as and when needed. Now you can see the onions are slowly but surely becoming softer and slightly golden in color. So here the onions have reached a soft texture and a light golden color. At this point, we're going to add a large pinch of salt and half a teaspoon of sugar. Increase the heat to medium-high. Continue to cook, stirring often until the onions are caramelized and become brown. Stir frequently, make sure there is no burning of the onion whatsoever, and if you do find a few burnt bits on the side of the pan, remove them promptly. It will take about 20 to 30 minutes for the onions to become brown. The time will vary depending on your pot, the stove, and the onions. By now, the beef broth has simmered for about an hour. Strain to remove the oxtail and all the other ingredients. Once the onions have reached a nice caramelized color, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of flour and mix this in. Stir another minute or so. Pour the strained broth into the caramelized onions and simmer again briefly, adding salt and pepper to taste. Again, you do want to be careful while stirring because some of the blackened bits of onion on the side of the pot can be incorporated into the soup if you're not careful. Add just about a 1/4 teaspoon of black vinegar or balsamic vinegar. This adds a nice hint of acidity. At this stage, we're going to preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. We're going to slice one fresh baguette. Slice the baguette at an angle into 1-inch thick elongated pieces. Place on a tray lined with a baking paper. Brush both sides of each slice with softened unsalted butter. Place in the preheated oven and toast till slightly crisp. Flip over the pieces and toast the other side as well. So the soup has been simmering just briefly. Now we're going to add that final delicious creamy touch by adding a 1/4 cup of Cara coconut cream at room temperature. Add the coconut cream to the simmering soup and stir briskly. Also add a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Remove the toasted baguette slices from the oven when they're done and switch the oven to the broiler setting now and leave the door slightly open. Ladle the soup into 4 smaller French onion soup bowls or 2 larger deep soup bowls. Top with 1 or 2 slices of the toasted baguette, and we're going to pile on the cheese. We're using 150 grams of grated Gruyere cheese, which not only goes great with the caramelized onions, but also the coconut cream in this recipe. Place the bowls back in the oven under the broiler until the cheese melts. And with those remaining toasted baguettes, you can add a little bit of minced garlic, top it with the remaining Gruyere cheese, and place it under the broiler until the cheese melts as well. This cheesy garlic bread goes great on the side of this delicious French onion soup, which is now ready to be served. We hope you tried this creamy version of French onion soup. You'll be delighted at how all the flavors go so well together. I am leaving the recipe card for you all here. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.